Good morning, Dr. Bhavani and my fellow classmates. So today our group, which is Group 2, will be presenting about type 2 diabetes mellitus. So the content of this presentation would be an introduction on type 2 diabetes mellitus, a proposal on a painless glucose monitoring and insulin delivery system, a conclusion which would be our final remark, and lastly the references. Type 2 diabetes mellitus is a condition that involves impaired glucose regulation, which results from decreased insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance that can lead to reduced glucose tolerance and increased glucose level in the bloodstream. The causes may be due to insulin resistance, where cells in the liver, muscle, and fat in our body becomes resistant to insulin, or it may be due to the pancreas, where the pancreas is unable to produce sufficient insulin to control the blood glucose level. According to WHO, 422 million people worldwide have diabetes, mainly in low and middle income countries, with 95% of them having type 2 diabetes. Traditional medical treatment: Oriental, which is traditional Chinese medicines, and Ayurvedic, which is traditional Indian medicines. Approximately 800 plants have been identified for type 2 diabetes mellitus prevention and treatment. Several thousand years of experience in managing type 2 diabetes mellitus by using herbal medicine was seen to enhance insulin sensitivity, reduce carbohydrate absorption, or stimulate insulin secretion in the body through various mechanisms. It is derived naturally from a plant, making it safer than the available conventional drugs. Example of traditional medicines. First, we look at Momordica charantia, which was seen in traditional Chinese and also Indian medicines. It belongs to the family Cucurbitaceae, and it is also known as bitter melon. According to a study in 2018, it can boost insulin secretion and increase insulin sensitivity in patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus without any pharmacological treatment. The major active compounds that can be found are oleanolic acids, cucurbitane glycosides, insulin-like peptides, momordicin, and charantin. It was also seen to demonstrate hypoglycemic control in animal models. Next, Gymnema sylvestre, which is an Ayurvedic medicine from the family Apocynaceae. It has the ability of glucose-lowering effect because it contains phytochemicals such as gymnamic acid, gourmarin, and Gymnema saponins. These phytochemicals are believed to act as natural antioxidants and protect against free radical damage. It is marketed mainly for diabetic patients as a traditional medical treatment. Next, a Malaysian medicinal herb, Cosmos caudatus, which is locally known as ulam raja in Malaysia, and it belongs to the family Asteraceae. It is identified as one of the medicinal treatments for type 2 diabetes mellitus, and it contains a variety of bioactive compounds such as ascorbic acid, chlorogenic acid, and proanthocyanidin. It contains flavonoid glycosides that can inhibit alpha-glucosidase, which is an intestinal enzyme involved in glucose uptake in the gastrointestinal tract, which would then result in a reduced glucose level. New innovations. First, we have glucometer, which is a device used to measure the blood glucose level at a particular point of time. Next, we have continuous glucose monitor, which is a device that automatically tracks the blood glucose level throughout the day and night. It provides insight into glucose trends, which allows a better understanding on how diet, physical activity, lifestyle, and medicines can affect the blood glucose levels. It also gives an alert when the blood glucose level is either too high or too low. Insulin pump, which is a small computerized device that delivers insulin through a thin tube that is inserted underneath the skin. It delivers insulin continuously, and it also delivers an extra dose during mealtime. Next, we have Smart Insulin Pen, which is an injector pen which has a sensor and memory that pairs up with a mobile app to help manage diabetes by improving insulin delivery. It calculates and tracks insulin doses, send alerts, set helpful reminders, and also create detailed reports. There are two types, which are disposable pens and reusable pens. Lastly, apps. Apps are able to track blood sugar level and show trends, monitor diet and suggest healthy recipes for diabetes patients, record exercise, provide peer support, and access to highly trained diabetes educators and also fitness coaches.
Now, I will proceed to our product proposal, which is the future of diabetes management. Our idea is to create penless glucose monitoring and insulin delivery system. So, we actually merge the glucose sensing patch along with the insulin patch. We call it as a two-in-one system. One patch is to detect glucose level and the other one is to deliver insulin. In this two-in-one system, both patches is a paper-like weight, so it is almost invisible. It also has a microneedle-based system with less than 1 millimeter needles that can penetrate the skin transdermally without needing any medical training. Because it is so tiny, it will be painless and cost-effective. This is the illustration of our product. You can see the tiny needles are arranged on the small patch. For your information, the microneedle patch is already innovated for transdermal administration of drugs to the epidermis or epidermis region. Microneedle patches have the same effectiveness compared to subcutaneous injection of insulin. It also has excellent biocompatibility and storage ability. The combination of the transdermal patch and hypodermic needle causes a faster onset of action, painless, has stable bioavailability, better patient compliance, and high permeability. Now, let me introduce our first patch for the blood glucose monitoring system. For our glucose sensing patch, it can track your glucose level through a micro needle system based with a sensor. To use it, you can stick the patch on your arm and get a comprehensive report of your blood that is highly accurate with our customized apps. This is the illustration of the glucose sensing patch. On the front view, you can see a paper-like sensor, and on the back view, it is the adhesive side equipped with microneedles. So the back view is the patch side that will stick onto your skin. Our second patch is for the insulin delivery system. This insulin patch can mimic the pancreas because of its glucose sensing feedback mechanism. When your glucose level is higher than the threshold, you can stick one insulin patch on the other side of the arm. This patch has a glucose sensing polymer encapsulated with insulin, where the insulin release can only be triggered by your glucose level. This insulin patch came in various sizes and designs. It is highly convenient because you can bring it around in one packaging. So, the advantage of our insulin patch is that it can prevent hypoglycemia by creating it in various sizes and dosing, which is important to avoid insulin overdose. Because of the variety of sizes and designs, any age group can wear it and make it fashionable at an affordable price. Our insulin patch also has high compliance of patients because easy to use, painless, waterproof, and does not require any specific skill. It is best to use together or separately with the glucose sensing patch. The insulin patch is one-time use, while the glucose sensing patch can be many times depending on what type of environment it is exposed to. Therefore, our goal is to produce a new type of treatment for type 2 diabetes mellitus patients without restricting their daily life.
I will proceed the presentation. So why you get a few when you can have everything in one? Why we introduce our product? Traditionally, there's a limitation here and there, but ours just stick it to apply, suitable for any kinds of body sizes. You use your old glucometer, sure, it hurts, it needs some steps to apply, but with microneedles, it is painless, you don't have to worry about the blood, we develop the sensor to monitor the glucose level, just take it and you get your results. Worry about your glucose level every time? Stick the patch, grab your smartphone, open the apps, and boom, the result appears. Insulin pump, invasive, minimal movement, but with our products, you can enjoy your daily routine by a style patch on your arm. Insulin pen, oh my god, needles, just by hearing it I've got chills. We have a better idea, microneedle patch. Coming with automated insulin delivery, you do not have to worry about your glucose level, and most importantly, of course, no side of sharp things, no pain. We come up with some strategies on this project, specifically for the research part. First, we try to make some studies on the theory to gain more information and knowledge on the disease and the invention itself. Then we go through with the case study through other conventional devices or treatment that had already found on other market. We also collect some data or feedbacks from the patients and public. Finally, we can conduct a test on the practicality of the new development of the invention. In this case, we could evaluate the effectiveness of the product before it can be used by the other patients. On the marketing part, we plan on 3 different ways. We start to publicize through social media to increase exposure and awareness towards public of our invention. Right after we have gained the public trust and feedbacks, we proceed to cooperate with any hospital or NGOs related to promote and review the invention. Then we will create a proposal for funding by Diabetes Malaysia (DM) for the mass production and business to ensure the stock flow well managed. It is crucial to gain the legal right for our invention. Therefore, we have already drafted some strategies on the patent application. In order to obtain a patent in Malaysia, the inventor will be required to make an application to the Intellectual Property Corporation of Malaysia, MyIPO. We use the common patent life cycle, starts by drafting an invention disclosure, which is a confidential document written for the use of sovereign authority, followed by the prior art search, in which we will try to gain a full and complete knowledge regarding the technologies that have been previously existed, and at the same time ensure that the invention will satisfy the patentability requirements. The third step is to submit the patent application. The inventors will be required to define the boundaries of the invention so that it will not violate others' intellectual property. Next, in the patent prosecution, the invention is being evaluated by the patent examiner to determine if it satisfies all the requirements. And lastly will be the certification of the invention. The patent invention is ready to monetize via licensing, selling and buying, litigation and pledging. To sum up what we have been proposing to you before, let's recap the critical points in this presentation. Firstly, we have briefly presented to you what is type 2 diabetes mellitus means. We also included the causes, epidemiology and some of the treatment that indirectly associated with our new innovation. Next, we came up with our new proposed innovation on the medical intervention. Our focus are mainly on the application and the feasibility of screening or monitoring the glucose level in our body through smartphones or other gadgets. And finally, we stand with our innovation by reassuring the high level of accuracy, highly convenient, affordable, and does not require any medical training to apply the devices. All of these are important as our main targeted community are type 2 diabetes mellitus patients, older patients, patients who have fear of needles, and patients with minimal science background. We believe this innovation could help those who suffered from disease cause we care. Therefore, we make it easier for you. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you.